Imagine a world where moral darkness has taken over everything. Humanity, once created in the image and likeness of God, has plunged into corruption and violence. The men and women of the earth live without restraint, following their own desires and ignoring the divine commandments. The Bible describes that God, observing the wickedness that has spread across the earth, feels a deep sadness. The Lord saw that human wickedness was great and that all the thoughts of man's heart were continually evil. This is a powerful image of a creator disappointed with his own creation. And so, God makes a drastic decision. He decides to cleanse the earth, destroying all life on it, with the exception of one man and his family. That man is Noah, described as righteous and upright among his contemporaries. Humanity has one last chance of redemption through Noah. God approaches Noah with an extraordinary mission, to build an immense ark that will house his family and a couple of each species of animal. Imagine the scene. Noah, an ordinary man, is called upon to carry out a gigantic task. God tells him, "Make an ark of cypress wood. I will bring a flood upon the earth to destroy all flesh in which there is breath of life." Without hesitation, Noah obeys. He starts gathering materials, cutting wood, hammering planks day and night. Imagine the determination needed to build such a large vessel at a time when it had never rained so much. He works under the critical and mocking eyes of his neighbors. They laugh, doubting the prophecy of a flood that seemed impossible. But Noah stands firm, driven by unshakable faith. He is an example of obedience and faith, even when everyone around him disbelieves him. Finally, the ark is ready. God instructs Noah to enter with his family and the animals, from the birds to the wild animals, a couple of each species. The door closes, sealed by the divine hand, and then the sound of thunder fills the air. The first drops of rain begin to fall, gentle at first, but quickly turning into a furious storm. Imagine the earth opening up, the fountains of the great abyss gushing with water, while the heavens collapse with unprecedented force. What was just a distant threat becomes a terrifying reality. The water rises, submerging the highest mountains, and everything that was once alive is now consumed by the waters. Inside the ark, Noah and his family are protected, floating safely while the world around them is destroyed. For 40 days and 40 nights, the rain doesn't stop. It's a scene of total destruction, but also of divine protection for those who have been faithful. After months adrift, not knowing what the future holds, Noah begins to look for signs of dry land. He sends out a raven, but it finds nowhere to land. Then he sends out a dove, which returns with nothing. Finally, after another 7 days, he sends out the dove again, and this time it comes back with an olive branch in its beak. This little branch is a sign of hope, an indication that the earth is beginning to rise from the waters. Noah, his family, and all the animals wait patiently until the earth is completely dry. And then God says to Noah, "Get out of the ark, you and your family, and let the animals spread out and fill the earth again." When Noah set foot on dry land, the first thing he did was to build an altar and offer sacrifices in gratitude to God. And God, touched by Noah's faithfulness, makes a solemn promise. He will never again destroy the earth with a flood. As a symbol of this covenant, God places a rainbow in the sky, saying, "When the bow is in the clouds, I will see it and remember the eternal covenant between God and all living things." The rainbow becomes a sign of hope, an eternal reminder of divine mercy and the possibility of new beginnings. The story of Noah and the flood is not just about destruction, but about renewal. It's a message that even in the midst of the worst storm, there's always a chance for a fresh start. The rainbow reminds us that, despite human failings, God offers a path of redemption and a new covenant of love and protection. After the flood, Noah and his descendants were commanded by God to grow and multiply, and fill the earth again. Humanity began to spread out, rebuilding their lives and founding new communities. Imagine this moment: Noah's sons and their descendants establishing villages, cultivating the land and regaining dominion over the animals. Over the years, the peoples began to multiply and prosper. And in the midst of this growth, a bold idea emerges, a symbol of ambition and human unity. In a vast valley in the land of Shinar, a fertile region full of possibilities, men came together with a common purpose. Imagine leaders from various tribes and families discussing a great project, something that would unify humanity like never before. They said to each other, "Let's build a city with a tower that reaches the heavens. That way we'll make a name for ourselves and we won't be scattered over the face of the earth." The idea was clear: to build a tower so high that it would touch the sky, a symbol of power, ambition, and independence. At this stage of the story, there is an underlying theme of pride and a desire for self-sufficiency. By building this tower, they were not only trying to reach heaven physically, but also symbolically, showing that they didn't need divine guidance. Construction has begun. Imagine the sound of tools, workers climbing up and down the tower, bricks being laid one by one. They used burnt bricks instead of stones and bitumen as mortar, advanced technologies for the time, indicating a civilization that was becoming increasingly sophisticated. The tower was not just a building, it was a symbol of human unity. Every brick laid was a testament to cooperation and the power of collaboration. They were determined to achieve the impossible, united by a singular purpose. But what began as a demonstration of collective strength quickly turned into a symbol of hubris. The initial intention of uniting humanity for a greater purpose began to distort into pride and arrogance. From on high, God was watching the building that was getting bigger and bigger. And then, like a father who sees his children straying from the teachings, he says, "Behold, they are one people, and they all have the same language, and this is only the beginning of what they will do. Now nothing you try to do will be impossible for you." Imagine the heavenly scene, a divine meeting where the decision is made to intervene and prevent humanity from destroying itself through its own arrogance. God, in his infinite wisdom, decides that the only way to stop this escalation of pride is to confuse their tongues. The scene is dramatic. In the middle of an ordinary working day, the workers begin to realize that they can no longer understand each other. Simple requests become incomprehensible and chaos ensues. Those who used to work side by side now look at each other with confusion and distrust. The chaos increases. The workers shout at each other, trying to communicate, but their words sound like incomprehensible jargon. Leaders try to restore order, but it's no use. The unity that once existed falls apart in a matter of minutes. The great tower, which symbolized human pride, becomes an unfinished monument. Eventually, people begin to group together according to those who understand their new language. Tribes form, and unable to continue the project, they begin to disperse across the land, each group going its own way. The name Babel comes to mean confusion, an eternal testimony to how pride and limitless ambition can lead to ruin. The story of the Tower of Babel teaches us profound lessons. On the one hand, we see the power of human cooperation. When people come together, they are capable of extraordinary feats. But we also see the dangers of pride and the search for personal glory at the expense of respect and humility before God. The tower, which should be a symbol of conquest, becomes a reminder of human frailty. No matter how advanced or united we may be, without divine guidance, we are destined to fail. However, there is also a message of hope. The dispersion of peoples and the diversity of languages are an invitation to the richness of cultural diversity and the beauty of different human expressions. Each language and culture has its own way of reflecting the image of God. Finally, the episode of the Tower of Babel makes us reflect on our own projects and ambitions. Are we building something for our own glory, or are we pursuing a greater purpose, in line with God's plans? Did you like this video? Share it, turn on notifications, and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.